Good morning. I'm going to do two things in this short video. The first one is just clear up a couple of loose ends from the Papertown summary response. The second thing is to talk about the presentation. Papertown summary response. I will have posted in the Getting Started section on the D2L page uh, the same information that was on the video about the Papertown summary response and the summary response essay in general. But I forgot to talk about the due dates and a couple of other small things. So the due date for the Papertown summary response will be September 11th, 2020. It'll be at 11:59 p.m. And please place the paper in the essay subfolder of your Google Drive folder. Remember that there are three folders there: daily writing, commonplace book, and essays. This goes in the essay folder. The heading format: student name, title of paper, my name, and just my last name is fine, and then the due date of the paper. That information should always be single spaced. The length of this paper is 2 to 3 pages. Use the default margins and fonts for either Microsoft Word or Google Doc. Single space the heading, as I said before. Double space the body of the paper. Do not place any extra double spacing between the paragraphs, and don't make the title a font of 40 or something like that. Just normal size font throughout the paper. If you have any questions about this part of it, please let me know. And once again, I will have this up on the D2L page, and it'll just be on the top of the information about the summary response, and it'll be the same sort of stuff that I shared with you on a previous video. Scrolling down, the student presentation. Given the situation with COVID and the blended classes, and God knows what else we're going to be dealing with between now and Thanksgiving, I have changed up the presentation. Previously, my idea was, and what I had done last time I taught this class, was have students preview the book, and then I filled in all the gaps that they missed. That presentation was done on the first day of the novel being discussed. This year, I think we're just going to do things a little bit differently, and we're going to do it on the last day the novel is being discussed, and I'll talk about the details there. Students making the presentation will not have to write the summary response paper over the novel. Please understand that that's the summary response paper. If it is the lit analysis paper, you can still skip a subsequent summary response, and we'll just negotiate that out as we go. Two students, if you're presenting over the same book, each presentation should be an individual effort. This is not a group presentation. It's one of the changes, I think, with COVID that I had to work in as well. Work to use an outline and speak extemporaneously instead of writing a script and reading from it. The sign-up order will be randomly selected, and your presentations can cover the novels. Okay, so Black Panther, Hatchet Holes, Hunger Games, The Knife of Never Letting Go, The Marrow Thieves, and those of you on campus who are watching this, The War That Saved My Life. Okay. And again, I've mentioned this before, but if on-campus students are presenting a novel that will be part of an analysis essay, they can skip the next summary response paper after the analysis essay. And on-campus people, I'm just going to have you record your presentation and upload it to the Google Drive folder. I think an MP4 is probably the best choice for recording the information. And again, I'm not judging you on technical quality. As long as I can see your face, as long as I can hear you clearly, and we'll just kind of put it up on the overhead in the classroom, we should be fine. Okay. Presentation is going to follow the following items. It should be about 8 to 12 minutes. First, sum up the novel in a 6-word story. If you have questions about what a 6-word story is, please get a hold of me. But basically, it's exactly what it says. It is a story, 6 words max, 6 words minimum, 6 words only. It is a 6-word story. So you're going to take this novel, whether it's Paper Towns or anything else, and you're going to sum it up into 6 words. And then I stole this from a guy who reviews knives and other stuff on YouTube. Discuss the good, the great, the bad, and the ugly. 2 or 3 elements of the book that you thought were good. Give concrete details and explain. 1 thing about the book that's great. Concrete examples and explain. 2 or 3 elements of the book that you believe to be bad. Give concrete elements and explain. Discuss 1 thing about the book that is ugly. Give a concrete detail and explain. I bet you didn't see that last sentence coming. If you choose to get rid of the ugly, I will understand. If you don't think there's anything ugly in the book, that's fine. Okay? Briefly, and the key word here is briefly, apply one of the literary theories to the novel. The literary theories PowerPoint presentation kind of gives an overview. I tried to give examples from Paper Towns as I went through that presentation. If there's any questions about that, please talk to me. Number 4, what is a key takeaway from the book? In class, several times, I talked about the idea of being human, treating others as human. To me, seems to be a key takeaway from this book. 1 or 2 sentences, flesh it out a little bit. That's all you really need. Connect the book to another book, a movie, a song, a poem, a real life situation, a food, or something else. Explain the connection. I think it's always important to understand that training our minds to make connections is something we should always be working on. Also, I think there's some science behind the idea that we're hardwired to make connections. Make some connections. Who would you give this book to and why? If you hate the book, give it to your worst enemy. If you love the book, give it to your best friend. If there's a specific type of reader you know, give it to that person. Who would you give this book to? Why? In other words, who would appreciate this book and why? And then last, what's something Collis got wrong about the book? Perhaps, you think I overlooked a key element. I said in the class lectures that we're doing a survey and we're in a hurry. Overlooking something can be something I got wrong. Perhaps you think the character should be treated more sympathetically than I treated them. That's fine. Perhaps you think that the plot is not as stereotypical or is not as formulaic as I think it is. That's fine. Just give a reason for why you think that's the case. If you look at it, I believe this is basically a 10-word or a 10-part thing. The 6-word story: good, bad, great, ugly. Apply the theory. Key takeaway: make a connection. Who would you give the book to, and what's something I got wrong? 8 to 12 minutes. If you have questions, please let me know. But these presentations will start, and let me scroll back up very quickly. The first book they will start with was Holes. I went in alphabetical order. Double check the syllabus to see which book is coming where. And again, to be as fair as possible, I'm going to make the drawing random for who gets to do what book. I will allow, I believe, 2 people per book. And if we, have, if I have to do 3, I will. And if we miss a novel without a student presentation because everybody doubled up or, if necessary, tripled up on some of the other books, that's fine with me. Okay? Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. And again, please double check. Let me one more time. Remember the due dates here on Paper Towns. It's due the 11th at 11:59 p.m. The 12th is a Saturday. I would like to start correcting as soon as possible on that Saturday. Follow the format. And again, the summary response overview for Paper Towns will be on the D2L page, and the general summary response overview will also be in the D2L page so that you can double check all of those. Again, last time, I think I've said this about 15 times. If you have any questions, please let me know. Hope everybody has a good day. I think this is going to be posted on Friday, so I hope everyone has a good weekend.